school with a pretty little girl. She could never escape my eye. We fell in love and we knew it wouldn't work, but we knew we had to try. She had the richest daddy around. He had no use for the common ground. Another case of love going down. Old money runs every town. I still remember on the 4th of July, there were rockets exploding above. They came and found me at the meeting place where we always escaped in our love. I saw her daddy stop and kill his headlights with the sheriff and his boys close behind. When they were through taking turns at me, I could see quite clear through these eyes. She had the richest daddy around. He had no use for the common ground. Another case of love going down. Old money runs every town. Many years have come and gone since I left, and I think of all I've done. The many battles I chose to fight, but some just can't be won. They said I came from the wrong side of my town. I'd have to agree. Said nothing good ever came from down there, something we never wanted to believe. She had the richest daddy around. He had no use for the common ground. Another case of love going down. Old money runs every town. Hey, she had the richest daddy around. He had no use for the common ground. Another case of love going down. Old money runs every town. It runs your town. It runs my town. It runs every town. Well, you know, I tour a lot. I'm on the road about 250 to 280 days out of the year. And I get to stay in places that folk singers and Americana artists stay that have really exotic names. They have names like Super 8, Motel 6. One of the things I notice is, because I'm a musician and I usually end up checking into these hotels, motels, kind of late at night, usually after an engagement, I don't always get to grab one of those rooms on the ground floor. I sometimes have to load my guitar cases and my luggage up flights of stairs. The last couple of years or so, I noticed that something was going on at these Motel 6s where I stayed. I guess the first few times I saw it, I didn't notice it too much, but then it started to become something that stuck out a little more. I realized there were families living in these Motel 6s, and sometimes two families living in one Motel 6 room, and they weren't there for one night like I was. They were there for long-term stays, and it was all because of foreclosure and unemployment. A lot of times the kids would be running around on the steps and they would see me dragging my guitar cases. You can see them over there. They have stickers all over them. And it probably looked a little intriguing to the kids, and they would come walking up and they would say, "Where do you play music? What kind of music do you play?" Sometimes the parents would even meet me out in the parking lot and just drum up a conversation. Sometimes they just wanted to tell me their story. I think there was actually a therapeutic thing going on there where they just wanted someone to hear their story. And it was touching to me. And I'm going to sing you a song that I wrote about these experiences because I couldn't keep away from it. I had to write a song. This is called Little Rock. Here for a day, never get to stay, only here for a song. People say, "Mister, where do you play?" My answer is, "So long." Little Rock, Boulder, Colorado, Buffalo, Kalamazoo, Flagstaff, Oklahoma City, Green Bay, Baton Rouge. Children run the stairs, the family's room they share. A cheap motel is their home. I load the car with bags and guitar. They all stay, I can go. Little Rock, Boulder, Colorado, Buffalo, Kalamazoo, Flagstaff, Oklahoma City, Green Bay, Baton Rouge. The windows down, you can see the frowns, and all the spirit getting taken. The windows up, no better luck. I Another season, nothing breaking. Little Rock, Boulder, Colorado, Buffalo, Kalamazoo, Flagstaff, Oklahoma City, Green Bay, Baton Rouge. It's time to go. There's another show. My thoughts are filled with those I meet. I'll hear them say, Mr. Where do you play? My answer never is complete. Little Rock, Boulder, Colorado, Buffalo, Kalamazoo, St. Paul, Old St. Louis, Green Bay, Baton Rouge, Green Bay, Baton Rouge. Well, I got into the first chorus of that, and it dawned on me right as I said the name of your city that I had put your city in the song, and I wasn't thinking that. It almost choked me up a little bit, as I said. There used to be a story that traveled around by word of mouth that if the midnight train came around the bend and shined its lights right into your jail cell, I happened to be looking right at you when I said that. It could have been anybody else, but you were right in my line. But if the midnight train shines its lights on you, that's a sign that you're about to be set free. And I think a lot of people credit Leadbelly with being the author of this song. I think that if you do some research on it, you might discover that the song was around before Leadbelly, but he probably did, in fact, write some new verses to it. Now, this is one that some of you will recognize, and you might even feel like singing along. Please don't. I'm only kidding, of course. Let me do a little guitar work on the front end of this. Here we go. You'll get in trouble with the man. Let the midnight special she wears that apron and the clothes she wore. Umbrella on her shoulder, piece of paper in her hand. She come to see the governor. She's gonna free her man. Good luck. Let the midnight special, you can sing it with me, shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. One more time. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Ever loving light this time. Let the midnight special shine its ever loving light on me. Let the midnight special, everybody singing, shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. One more time. Yes, let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine its ever loving light on me. Well, thanks to our sound technician back there, whose name is Brian. He helped make this show come off. Let's give him a big round of applause. He's got one of those little knobs on the soundboard, and he turns it, and it changes my accent. So thanks a lot, Brian. I knew I could count on you, brother. I was talking earlier to somebody about my tour schedule, and I was telling them that every year, almost every year, for about the last 20 years, I've gone to Europe and the UK and done long tours. It's so expensive to go over there and come back that I usually end up over there for 8, 9, or 10 weeks doing these extensive tours, playing many, many, many shows to try and maximize on the monies I can bring home. One of the things that they have over there that we do not have here that is so attractive to me is they have an effective train system. And I'll tell you something, I take full advantage of it too. I go over there and I'll put the guitars in the overhead bin or pull them up behind my seat, the luggage too. Everything's in plain sight usually. And I can sit down for a few hours instead of driving like I do here. I can sit down and eat a sandwich or read a newspaper or take a nap, you know, I so wish I could do that here because I have to drive every day for several hours to the next town. And I did notice over the years there's something would oftentimes happen that really was an invasion of my downtime on the train. Someone over there would hear me talking, or maybe they looked at those stickers and they read them, and they would realize, oh, he's an American. And the next thing I knew, I was being bashed for American foreign policy by some stranger on a train. And it would go on the entire train ride until one of us got off the train. And I thought, wow, I wish that wouldn't happen because I was going to eat a sandwich and take a nap. And instead, I'm just getting hit upside the head. And usually they make a lot of really good points to me. I'll give them that. But I figured something out about 2 years ago. I got to tell you, it was an incredible thing to realize. I wish I had realized it many years before. You know, the typical person in Manchester, England, or The Hague in Holland, they don't know the difference like you and I know the difference between, say, my Middle Tennessee accent and, let's say, a Toronto accent. I started telling them I was from Canada. They just leave me alone now. didn't like the way things were going at home. So I packed up my bags one day. They told me that things were good down south. About all they needed to say. You don't need a lot to travel. You just need the guts that it takes. A small photograph of the one you love in your pocket, safe from the rain, and a whiskey bottle to help ease the pain. Well, down south didn't change the way I felt. My problems caught right up to me. I guess I figured I could shake them on my way out west. Where they said that I'd set my mind free. That's what they said. You don't need a lot to travel. You just need the guts that it takes. A small photograph of the one you love in your pocket, safe from the rain, and a whiskey bottle to help ease the pain. Well, I don't think the memory can catch me now. I'm in a boxcar it can't find. Wish those boys over yonder, I wish they'd hurry. And pass that bottle to me one more time, one more time. You don't need a lot to travel. Oh, you just need the guts that it takes. A small and a whiskey bottle to help ease the pain. The person giving me that introduction was Ryan, and I'd like to give him a round of applause for bringing me to do this show. If you need to write a letter just to make it all better, I'll be working on it. Yeah, the fences need a mending and you gotta be bending, start working on it. Hey, so working on it. If you got no wheel and you're sitting still, start working on it. Yeah, if you're standing in place cause you wanna save face, you're not working on it. Hey, sit working on it. You talk too much, you better shut up and be working on it. Hey, the clock is a ticking and you might wanna listen to me work on it. Hey, now working on it. If you need to write a letter just to make it all better, I'll be working on it. If the fences need a mending and you gotta be a bending, start working on it. Hey, working I'm talking working on it. People need love, I am the same. I'd have my fill if only you'd stay. My heart, it's broken for you. You took up arms, felt you should fight. I've got two arms, could hold you tight, and a heart, broken heart for you. Broken heart for you. I am all alone for you. It's a broken heart for you. It's a broken heart for you. Thought you'd be there, you made a choice. I'm left right here without any voice, but a heart you. The world needs a change, war rages on. A child needs a father, now you are gone. I've a heart, broken heart for you. Broken heart for you. I am all alone for you. It's a broken heart for you. It's a broken heart for you. Here's a broken heart for you. She's been around. I still remember when she found this town. Piece of the pie, piece of the pie. She always grabs for everything and moves so sly. She moves so sly. She never lets up, she never lets up. She'll take all you have, but it won't be enough. The stakes are high, the stakes are high. The only way you win is if you wave her goodbye. You're on and wave her goodbye. She's always digging for gold, digging for gold, digging for gold, digging for gold. If she lives to be 100 years old, she'll still be digging for gold. Yeah. I know you feel strong, I know you feel strong. You don't realize how she leads you along. My goal was small, my goal was small. I didn't have much, but she took it all. She took it all. I'm in the cold, I'm in the cold. I'm a bigger man now, and I have no gold. I have no gold. She's always digging for gold, digging for gold, digging for gold, digging for gold. If she lives to be 100 years old, she'll still be digging for gold. Well, I was born in the city of Nashville, Tennessee. I grew up 20 miles west of that town, and the name of that town is called Ashland City, Tennessee. We never had a Highway 61 to run through there, like all those blues men used to sing about in Mississippi. Bob Dylan wrote about it too. But we do have two highways. They sort of intersect right in the downtown part of Ashland City. Highway 12 and Highway 49. Being a little bit of a romantic, I realized that if you add those two together, you get your own little Highway 61. So, simple mathematics. This is called the 12 and 49 Crossroads, and this is a guitar piece. Some artists I used to work for as a sideman guitarist. And I wonder in the room tonight how many people might have heard of a folk rock singer named Steve Forbert. We got a few? Okay, Steve will be happy to know that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Steve Forbert was born in Meridian, Mississippi. He went to New York City as a young adult to try and make it as a singer-songwriter there. And he actually did some busking in the subways, and that's how he got discovered by a record company, and they signed him to a record deal. He actually went on, just within a few years of that, to have a top 10 pop hit. And the song was called Romeo's Tune. And some of you in the room probably know it right away, and some of you don't think you know it, but when I do a piece of it in a moment, you'll probably say, yeah, I remember that. I haven't heard it in a while, but I know that song, Romeo's Tune. I remember one time we got off of an airplane. We had come from the UK when I was working for him, and we landed at LaGuardia, and somebody picked us up and whisked us over to a place called the Beacon Theater. And we were on a big package show, and on the bill was Steve Forbert and Dan Baird of the Georgia Satellites. Natalie Merchant was on it. Cyndi Lauper and the comedian Sandra Bernhardt. And I think there was maybe even a couple of other artists, I can't remember, but I remember it was kind of an interesting thing because Forbert and Cyndi Lauper were old friends from the New York City days when they both were struggling artists trying to get discovered there. And so when she got her record deal and made her first video, and this was in the age of when MTV was first exploding, the song was Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Some of you remember that. I think we're all dating ourselves there. But Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She asked Steve, her friend, to be in the video. So if you ever see that again, he plays her boyfriend in the video. And I remember meeting her backstage at that show, and they had not seen one another in a lot of years. And it's kind of fascinating to see them kind of rediscover each other that night. I'm going to do Romeo's tune for you, and I'll kind of do it in my own fashion, but if you recognize it, you want to sing along, of course you can. Let's see how it shakes up. Meet me in the middle of the day, let me hear you say everything's okay. Bring me southern kisses from your room. Meet me in the middle of the night, let me hear you say everything's alright. Let me smell the moon in your perfume. Oh, gods and years, they rise and fall, and there's always so much more. Lost in talk, I waste my time, and it's all been said before. While further underneath this masquerade, the tears are there. I don't ask for all that much, I just want someone to care. Meet me in the middle of the day, let me hear you say everything's okay. Bring me southern kisses from your room. Meet me in the middle of the night, let me hear you say everything's alright. Let me smell the moon in your perfume. The moon in your perfume. That is called Romeo's tune. Of Steve's albums, and one of them actually has got a really long name, and I'm probably going to get it a little bit wrong, but we recorded it over at the Ark in Ann Arbor, and it's called Steve Forbert with Mark Stewart live at the Ark in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and it gives the date. It's a really long title to the CD. Back in 1990, I toured that year with a guy by the name of Valdemar Horta. And that name doesn't mean a lot to you, but his stage name, you probably know, he was known as Freddie Fender. And some of you may not know this. When Freddie started out as a recording artist, it was in the late 50s and real early 60s. He was out of South Texas, and he was a rock and roll artist. His first few records were put out on an independent label, and he had a couple of regional hits at that time. One of them was called Wasted Days and Wasted Nights. And he wrote that song. And years later, when he was signed to a bigger record company in the 70s out of Nashville, and they decided to market him as a country artist, they re-recorded that. It was, of course, a big smash. All of you know it. You've heard it. He had a huge hit. I'm not going to do that one for you. Having said all that. But I'm going to do one of his other real signature songs for you. And I want to tell you this. I'm sure you don't know this story. But in the early 60s, he sort of got derailed in his career for a while because he was arrested in Louisiana for having a marijuana cigarette. And he did 2 years in a prison for it there. And some of you in the room remember when the laws were quite different about that kind of thing. And while he was in prison, he was actually involved in a scuffle, and someone slit his throat. And they took him to the prison morgue. He told me this himself. And someone walked by and heard him gasping, and they saved his life at the last instant. So it's almost like he was destined to become a star or something, to make it through all of that. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. He liked me a lot. At the time I worked for him, I was 25, and he turned 53 that year. And he really liked my guitar playing. In fact, he would give me solos constantly on his songs. And sometimes I would get 4 guitar solos on one song. And I know the audience had to be thinking, man, why does he keep letting this kid guitar player play all these solos? Of course, I loved it. I might have used up everything I knew on the first solo, but anyway, he would always look over at me and he would say, "Play it, little brother." And that was his way of telling me to play a guitar solo. I know if he wanted to get the audience to clap along, he would do this. He would go, "Come on, everybody, we're going to make tortillas." That always stands out. Okay, let's see if I can get us into this one. If he brings you happiness, then I wish you all the best. It's your happiness, that's what matters most of all. If he ever breaks your heart, if the teardrops ever start, help me out, I'll be there before the next teardrop falls. I'll be there anytime you need me, by your side to dry away those teardrops, the many teardrops that you cry. If he ever makes you blue, just remember I love you. Help me out. I'll be